They called it the safest ship ever built. A floating palace. An engineering miracle that even newspapers claimed was practically unsinkable. Yet on its very first voyage, the Titanic sank in less than 3 hours, taking over 1,500 lives with it. But here's the unsettling truth. The Titanic was already in danger before it ever struck the iceberg. What really doomed the ship were not just ice and cold water, but a series of human decisions, ignored warnings, and silent mistakes that sealed its fate hours earlier. Tonight, we uncover the real story of the Titanic, the facts rarely discussed, the myths corrected, and the chilling final hours that turned history forever. Part 1. The ship that was never meant to fail. In 1912, the RMS Titanic was the largest moving object ever built by humans. Stretching nearly 900 feet long, it was designed to dominate the Atlantic. Its builders equipped it with 16 watertight compartments, leading many to believe it could survive any disaster at sea. Passengers on board experienced unmatched luxury. First-class cabins resembled five-star hotels. Grand staircases, fine dining, heated swimming pools. Titanic was more than a ship. It was a symbol of human confidence and ambition. But beneath this confidence lay dangerous assumptions. The belief that Titanic could not sink created a culture of overconfidence, one that quietly influenced every major decision made during the voyage. Part 2. The warning signs nitrogen monoxide one listened to. On April 14, 1912, Titanic received multiple iceberg warnings from nearby ships. Some messages described massive ice fields directly in Titanic's path. Yet the ship continued at nearly full speed. Why? Because slowing down would mean arriving late in New York, and prestige mattered. Speed was seen as proof of power. The North Atlantic route had been traveled safely many times before, reinforcing the illusion that nothing could go wrong. Even worse, some warnings never reached the bridge. Overworked radio operators were busy sending passenger messages and dismissed certain iceberg alerts as routine noise. By nightfall, Titanic sailed into an ice field at high speed, with limited visibility and calm waters that made icebergs harder to spot. Part 3. The moment that changed everything. At 11:40 p.m., a lookout finally spotted the iceberg. "Hard a starboard," was shouted. The ship turned, but not fast enough. Instead of colliding head-on, Titanic scraped along the iceberg side. This single decision meant to avoid damage proved fatal. The iceberg tore open the hull across multiple compartments. Within minutes, water flooded 5 compartments. Titanic could survive 4. 5 meant death. The ship was now mathematically doomed. Part 4. Chaos, confusion, and deadly delays. At first, passengers weren't alarmed. Music played. Some even kicked ice chunks on deck as souvenirs. Crew members themselves struggled to grasp the severity of the damage. Then came the lifeboats. Titanic carried lifeboats for only about half the people on board, not because of neglect, but because outdated laws didn't require more. Many boats were launched half-empty, as officers feared overcrowding might cause them to collapse. Third-class passengers faced confusing barriers and delays, while first-class guests were prioritized. By the time panic spread, it was already too late. Part 5. The final moments. As the ship's bow sank deeper, the stern rose into the air. Lights flickered. Music continued, one final attempt to calm the terrified souls aboard. At 2:20 a.m., Titanic broke apart and disappeared beneath the freezing Atlantic. Those thrown into the water faced temperatures so cold that most died within minutes. The ocean fell silent. Part 6. The truths we learned too late. The Titanic disaster changed maritime history forever. Lifeboat laws were rewritten. Ice patrols were established. Radio communication rules were enforced. But the greatest lesson was not about technology, it was about human arrogance. Titanic did not sink because it lacked innovation. It sank because humans believed innovation made them invincible. Conclusion: haunting end. More than a century later, the wreck still lies at the bottom of the Atlantic, a frozen moment in time, reminding us that no matter how advanced we become, nature and human error remain undefeated. The Titanic wasn't just a ship. It was a warning.